Hi. So Senate Bill number 134, it was introduced in the 2023 regular session by the Education Committee, and it was sponsored by Republican Senator Mike Moon. And the summary is school personnel are prohibited from discussing gender identity or sexual orientation. So let me expound a little bit. So the legislation prohibits school staff from promoting gender identity or sexual orientation to students under the age of 18. It includes precise definitions of terms and mandates parental notification if a child expresses discomfort or confusion about their gender identity or requests using different pronouns. School officials are also prohibited from encouraging specific medical procedures or gender transition activities without parental consent, or talking about those surgical procedures, things like that. The Attorney General or parents can take legal action against non-compliant schools. So what's the intention behind this reform? So Missouri Republican Senator Mike Moon introduced a bill in Missouri to prevent discussions about gender identity and sexual orientation with students under the age of 18. So basically the bill requires teachers to notify parents if their children show interest in these topics, prefer a different name, a different pronoun. So LGBTQ rights organizations and their allies significantly, vehemently opposed the bill, expressing concerns that it could marginalize or further marginalize the LGBTQ plus students and faculty. So similar bills have been introduced in Republican-led states, sparking ongoing debates about LGBTQ plus policies in educational institutions and society. So specifically, and I'll get into it, Florida passed a bill, and it's called the Don't Say Gay bill. So if I refer to that, that's what that one is. So how are people situated differently to experience the effects of this proposed reform, this bill? So for teachers must notify parents within 24 hours if their children discuss their gender or sexuality in class or request the use of a different name or pronoun. Exceptions are allowed if the discussions are led by a licensed mental health provider with parental permission. Violating the bill could result in suspension or revocation of a teacher's license. So despite Kansas City's high LGBTQ plus inclusion score, parts of Missouri, specifically St. Louis, lag. So bills like SB 134 pose a significant risk, especially for queer Black individuals outside of Kansas City. Regarding the students, it's important for schools to consider the privacy and safety of LGBTQ plus students when it comes to sharing information about their experiences with gender and sexuality with their families. This can impact the trust between students and school staff, and the proposed Missouri bill could harm this relationship. LGBTQ plus students often face challenges in sharing their lives with both parents and school officials, and it's important to respect their wishes and consider their safety. Regarding parents, teachers play a crucial role in society. They are seen as standing in loco parentis, or in place of parents, both culturally and legally. They contribute significantly to the upbringing of future generations and children, making them essential to society's functioning. So how are the marginalized populations impacted by this reform? So Justice Horn, who's a prominent figure in the Missouri LGBTQ plus community, expressed concern about the potential impact of the bill, particularly the possibility of banning gay, straight, genders, and sexualities alliance clubs in schools. So the LGBTQ plus rights organizations and supporters have obviously criticized this bill, expressing concern about the potential removal of LGBTQ plus related books and teachings from schools and further marginalizing the population. Promo in Missouri, which is an LGBTQ plus advocacy group, also voiced concerns, stating that the bill could eliminate discussions on gender identity and sexual orientation. So what are the barriers to implementing the reform? Well, the potential obstacle to the reform was the possibility of SB 134 passing. So in Missouri, the reasons behind the bill went beyond simply aiming to safeguard young individuals from LGBTQ plus conversations. Many influential black leaders in Missouri perceived the bill as an attempt by state representatives to reinforce white male dominance and quasi-theocratic authority to maintain relevance amid a nationwide movement against the LGBTQ plus individuals. The same influencers regard the bill as political movers and a typical tactic within a self-centered system, enabling conservatives to come together by signaling out and isolating an already marginalized groups. So when comparing, cross-checking everything with Hackman's 5 essential components, how does this contradict or support each of the essential components? So Hackman emphasized social justice education's role in empowering students through fair resource allocation, social responsibility, and democratic processes. It goes beyond acknowledging diversity, diving into the underlying systems of power and privilege leading to social inequality. So with the tool number 1, the content mastery, Hackman highlighted the importance of content mastery in social justice education, emphasizing diverse and critical information in linking classroom content to societal issues to promote critical thinking, social action, and student-centered learning. The regulation outlined in SB 134 is in direct opposition to tool number 1, as it restricts school officials from promoting discussions regarding gender identity and sexual orientation among students under the age of 18 and eliminates discussions on gender identity and sexual orientation. Tool number 2 is critical thinking and the analysis of oppression. Hackman stressed also the importance of critical thinking for analyzing power and oppression, recognizing non-dominant perspectives, and considering alternatives to the dominant view of reality. The passing of SB 134 would perpetuate the oppression of marginalized communities, particularly the LGBTQ plus community. It would serve as a political strategy within a self-centered system, allowing conservatives to target an already vulnerable group. Tool number 3 was action and social change. Hackman emphasized the importance of providing tools for action and social change in teaching about oppression and privilege. If passed, SB 134 would prolong the mistreatment of marginalized people, especially the LGBTQ plus individuals. It would function as a political tactic within a self-serving system, enabling conservatives to single out an already susceptible group. Tool number 4 was personal reflection. So Hackman stressed the significance of self-reflection in social justice education for teachers to critically assess their beliefs, privilege, and power and create an equitable classroom. The proposed Missouri bill could lead to the inadvertent disclosure of students' experiences with gender and sexuality to unsupportive families, damaging the trust between students and teachers. The teachers often serve as confidants for students, including the LGBTQ plus students. Lastly, tool number 5 was the awareness of multicultural group dynamics. Hackman emphasized the importance of understanding group dynamics and socially constructed identities in the classroom for effective social justice teaching. Hackman stressed the significance of creating a safe space for dialogue about diversity and the infusion of culturally relevant pedagogy. The Missouri bill fails to specify an age group and outright prohibits discussion of LGBTQ plus topics. This bill could lead to the removal of LGBTQ plus literature and educational material from classrooms, ultimately causing the marginalization of LGBTQ plus students and culture. The last action of this bill in May 2024 was that it did not pass, which is good because this opens up the dialogue and the discussion that students can continue to have with their teachers. Thank you.